I've come away to Glenshea. It's absolutely freezing, about 3 degrees, forecast for snow, but stunning place. I was here in the winter and it was a wee bit colder than what it is now. I think it was about -3 when I stayed. Just a lovely place. So I'm all parked up, the van's tucked in. We should be sheltered overnight, no problem. We'll see how it goes. There was a guy and his young lad and the dog pulled in here. They started setting the tents up, really blustery. So I've offered to move my van to let him in. You maybe just see in the background. I've slid the van over a wee bit just so he can get in and be sheltered with the young lad and the dog, you know. I don't think it'd be much fun being exposed out here overnight. But what a place, what an absolute place. Doesn't come much better than that, to be honest with you, you know. I think we're going to get back to the van, put the kettle on and continue with the Bluetti review. We'll see how that one turns out. Hopefully it's not too bad. So if you like the content, remember to like and subscribe. It costs you absolutely nothing. It costs me nothing to do this apart from my time and diesel, but hopefully you guys get something out of it as well as me. So we'll see how it goes. So we spoke last week about things that power the van, and one of the units that I've got is the Bluetti Elite 100. It's an 1800 watt, 1024 watt hour unit. It's very good, it really lasts me quite a long time. It's got your two AC outputs there, 230 volts, so you can plug like your kettle, your coffee machine, your microwave, all this kind of stuff, as long as it's like not hugely overpowered like your kettle 1700 or 2000 watts, you know. I have a 700 watt one in the van and it does me just fine. It boils quickly enough just for one cup of tea, you know, so never a problem. So like I say, you've got your two ACs there, AC outputs. You've got some USBs here as well. You've got your USB-C 140 watt. You've got another one which is 100 watt, and then you've got your two USB-As which are both 15 watts. Very simple to operate. Just hold the button in and there we are. What I've done, I charged this coming up the road as I was driving with my it's called a Charger 1, a Bluetti Charger 1 unit, and it'll charge up as you're driving. Yeah, very good piece of kit. So at least I know wherever I'm going, once I get there I've got full power. So you've also got your DC output, your 12 volt 10 amp cigarette lighter there as well. So I'm just going to make myself a quick coffee with this Bluetti unit. I'll let you see how I do it. First things first, get the power on. I normally wouldn't have all this sitting up here, but it's just easier to film rather than having it up on the worktop space. So that's hence the reason it's here. But like I say, we'll get the power on. and we plug the Dolce Gusto machine in, switch the AC on, you hear it clicking on there, put the pod in, close the door. I'm just waiting on it heating up now, and as you can see it's running at 1432 watts, 1433, which is quite a bit, you know, but the Bluetti is coping with it no problem whatsoever, as you can see, and it'll come down as it starts to heat up and we'll get the green light, and away we go. As it's running it'll start to heat up again, as you can see, up and down. And there we go, nice cup of coffee. So at its highest it was running at 1484 watts, and the Bluetti Elite 100 was coping with it no problem whatsoever. As you can see, it's only used 3% of the power, so we've still got another 97%. Yeah, that's one cup of coffee. I may have 3 or 4 cups of coffee over the weekend. That's only 12% of your power. So realistically, it's very, very good. Let me take this out. There we go, that's the microwave plugged into the Bluetti now, and as you can see, we're still on 97%. And I'm going to have myself a couple of macaroni pies for lunch. Well, there and there, you can see the microwave's being powered, and that's from the Bluetti. So we'll give it maybe, I don't know, a minute. 2 minutes, let's go 2 minutes. Power station's on, pies are in the microwave, we're looking at 2 minutes, and we're just going to hit start. So that'll be the pies ready, and from 97% we're now down to 92% on the Bluetti. So 5% to heat up a couple of pies, I could live with that, not too bad at all. So I've just charged all the drone batteries, my mobile phone and the drone controller, and we're now down to 88%. So we're getting down, but we're still way above where we need to be if we thought about running out, so no worries there. That's another 10% used up cooking my tea. It was a pasta and chorizo meal, microwave meal. It was in there for 5 minutes, so 2% a minute on the microwave's not too bad, I could live with that. Still plenty in the tank, and ready for tea. Morning all. That was a cold night. I got down to -1, but time for a wee cup of tea, I think. So again, on with the Bluetti. Fire the AC on. We've got a little kettle there. We'll just fire a kettle on. There you are. It's a 700 watt kettle, so that'll just run away merrily. That'll take about 3 minutes maybe. Kettle will be boiling, and we'll be sitting down with a nice cup of tea. And there we go, as you can see, making a cup of tea only took 3% of the battery, so we've still got plenty of juice. So there we go, 75%, ready for a bit of toast and a cup of coffee. We'll check back once we're all done and see how much we've used. And there we go, toast and coffee, 10%. Just to let you see the benefits of the Charger 1. I was driving for maybe half an hour, and from 65% we're now up to 100%. So the benefits really are magnificent. You could stay out for as long as you want. As long as you're driving every couple of days, you can just recharge on the move, so it's never a problem. At the end of last week's video, I spoke briefly about sleep apnea. I think it's something that I've always had since I was a teenager, or at least it kind of came to light when I was a teenager. When I was about 15, I broke my nose, and subsequently it caused a deviated septum. So because I find it difficult to breathe through one side of my nose, I then became a mouth breather while sleeping. And this has obviously made the apnea more recognisable. It's manifested itself in loud snoring and stopping breathing when you're sleeping. Seems to be quite a taboo subject. A lot of people don't talk about it, you know. I don't know why. It's not a thing that you can help. It's not a thing to be embarrassed about. But a hell of a lot of people say, yeah, my wife tells me that I stop breathing when I'm sleeping and I snore really loudly. And I often ask them, have you been to be assessed? Have you gone to your doctor and maybe had an appointment at the sleep clinic and been assessed for sleep apnea? And they always say no. So out of everyone that I know, I'm the only person that I know about that has confirmed sleep apnea. I got diagnosed maybe about 14 years ago, and I was given the appropriate equipment to deal with it, and it certainly stopped me snoring. I sleep much better now. I don't wake up feeling like I've run a marathon during the night. I feel rested when I'm waking up. There is occasional nights that you can't sleep properly for whatever reason and you don't feel rested when you wake up, but on the whole it generally works for me. So I'm just going to show you another power station that runs my sleep apnea machine. Normally uses about 8% of the Bluetti's power, so I can be away for a hell of a long time before I need to charge that power unit. It's a bigger power unit than the one that I've previously shown you, and the sleep machine is permanently connected to the Bluetti power pack, so there's no messing about pulling it in and trying to get it under the bed every time you're going to bed. It's permanently there. I just leave it there all the time. When that Bluetti power pack needs charged, I use a smaller one that I've previously shown you, and I just hook that up to that bigger one and charge it from there. So it could be down at 10-20% and the smaller one will actually charge it. Like I say, I don't need to worry about pulling it all out from under the bed. I just leave it where it is. So it certainly works for me, but what we'll do, we'll get into the back of the van and I'll show you the equipment that I use and how I use it. Okay. So this Bluetti power pack is contained under the bed. It's kept out the way because that's where I keep the sleep machine. So it seems convenient, so that's where it lives. But it's a bigger unit than the other one. It's an AC 180p, 1440 watt hours and 1800 watt inverter. Again, you've got your USB-A's and your USB-C. I don't really use it for charging anything. I just use it mainly for running the sleep machine, like I say. When I want to charge this one up, I just run the 3-pin plug into the other Bluetti and that'll charge it up for me. So as you can see at the moment it's sitting at 92%. It was 100% yesterday when I left, and obviously overnight I've only used 8%. So it lasts me a hell of a long time. So the setup I use for the sleep machine is basically 12 volt plug running through an adapter which I purchased from Amazon. You can buy these fairly cheaply, and on the other end of this is a barrel connection which goes into the sleep machine. And depending on how good a night or how bad a night's sleep you're having, the unit will run anywhere between maybe 4 watts and 22 watts. So if you're having a really bad night, it'll use more power. If you're having a good night's sleep, it'll run less power. So all the while saving the battery, you know. But all I could say is, if you think you have sleep apnea, get yourself checked. All the equipment from these sleep clinics is free. It doesn't cost me anything. They supply me with everything. and ultimately it could save your life. It's very, very hard wearing on the heart, having sleep apnea, so you should really, really get checked and get yourself a good night's sleep at the same time once you've been diagnosed and received your equipment. I would urge anyone to do it. I'm a completely different person in the morning. I get out of bed, I'm not saying I jump out of bed, but I get out of bed no problem. I used to be terrible at getting up in the mornings because obviously I felt like I'd run a marathon during the night. But like I say, get yourself checked. You will notice the difference if you get diagnosed and receive your equipment. I think I'm going to wrap this one up for this week. I think we're going to leave it here. If I sum up, both Bluetti power stations, I think they're fantastic pieces of kit, and obviously the charger one that goes along with that as well. They're not the cheapest, but they work for me, you know. You can also charge both of them via solar. Solar's not for me. I had solar in my last van, and got to remember we live in Scotland. So just because the sun's shining doesn't mean that you're going to get full power from your solar. It'll give you what it'll give you, and that's it. And sometimes you could feel, sometimes you can maybe come a little bit unstuck, you know. So the charger one does it for me because I drive the van, and if you're driving the van, you're charging your power station. So Bluetti, definitely a thumbs up from me. Ultimately, I suppose the end goal is probably to wire these power stations into the van and completely run the van from it, so that you're not having to move them to boil your kettle or put your toast on or do your microwave. A lot of people connect them up through their fuse box in the van, and it makes all the sockets live at any time basically. They're app controlled as well, so you can switch them off and switch your AC and your DC on through the app once they're powered on. I think a bigger power station for me would mean wiring it into the van, but I'm not there yet. I'm not convinced that I need anything bigger. If a bigger one came along, I would certainly take it and get it wired in so that you're not having to mess about moving your packs about and charge up the pack in the back, you know. It would automatically be charged from the charger one and wired in. But that's maybe for another day. So like I say, we're going to leave this one here, and hopefully we'll catch you all next week. So it's now Saturday and we're in Scotland. It's pretty much the end of the football season. There's obviously a title decider to be held today, so that's what I'll be doing. I'll be watching the football. I'm not a supporter of any of the teams that are playing today. My team plays tomorrow, so I'll take the football in today anyway and see how that pans out. And remember to make that appointment if you think you've got sleep apnea. Nothing to be worried about, nothing to be ashamed about. Good luck, and I'll see you all next week.